You've all heard of copyright, but copyright is, on the one hand, easy to understand, but on the other hand, a very technical legal area. So to put various kinds of copyright into context, I've taken this example, which is the record album cover of what was the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, because it has literary copyright, musical copyright, artistic copyright, and photographic copyright, all in the one image. So we'll get back to that in a minute, but let's just go to the basics. Copyright protects the creator of an original work. It protects it against copying. A creator can be the author of a literary work, a book, an article, song lyrics, a poem, a slogan. Got to be more than one word, but a literary work can just be a few words. It covers, they can be a music composer, an artist of an image or artistic work, a photographer, and separately their subject, a filmmaker, an actor, a video manager, or a singer. Anyone who creates an original work is an author. And a creator whose copyright is protectable. Now, copyright lasts for a very long time. The author, creator, has the legal right to prevent unauthorised use for their life, and their estate has the right to prevent unauthorised use for another 70 years after they have died, except for photographers where their copyright ends on death. And copyright is intellectual property, so the creator can sell or license. License is a right, give a right to use their copyright. So a copyright license is a grant of permission to use the copyright. Some creators will grant the right for free, but most want what's called a royalty, money payable if you use their copyright. Now, common copyright infringements are songs, music, photograph, and they can result in takedown notices or the compulsory purchase of a copyright license and the payment of compensation. Now, the reason I'm able to use that image of the album cover on the right-hand side, which is normally a breach of copyright, is because this is education use. Education use, own use, and other fair use are not breaches of copyright. Now, copyright can be claimed by using a little C with a circle around it and the word copyright, and putting your name and date. And guess what? If you have a look at the bottom of the slide, I have claimed copyright. There's no copyright register in Australia. And in fact, copyright doesn't need to be claimed to exist. It can exist anyway. So let's turn now to this album cover. It's a song album. So the people who wrote the lyrics to the song will be the holders of the copyright for the lyrics. And you'll see the Beatle dressed in yellow and the Beatle dressed in blue are the lyricists. Then there's the music. The music was in fact written by those same people, so they have copyright in the lyrics and the music. Then there's the performer's copyright. So the four Beatles dressed in their uniforms in the middle, they are the performers. So they jointly have performers' copyright. Just cast your eyes down to the drum kit, and you'll see Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band written in a certain way. There are two types of copyright there. There's probably enough words to have literary copyright, but there's also artistic copyright because they've been written in a certain way. And similarly with the words Beatles down the bottom, they've been written, we'll call it, in flowers, but written in a certain way. In fact, the whole image at the bottom there, in fact, the whole compilation on the album is artistic copyright. Someone put it together in a certain way. Now, you will see some famous, or used to be famous, figures to the side and certainly behind the Beatles. The one on the right, the lady's Marilyn Monroe, and there's other historical figures, including Karl Marx, in the back. Now, each of those historical figures, they have an estate, because they're dead. They have an estate who had to license the image before it could be used on the album cover. So in those days, you only had to pay a couple of $100 to be able to use the image of any of those people on your album cover. Today, it'll be quite a lot more. And you'll notice in the back row, there's a couple of gaps. There's two big gaps. Well, they were for images reserved for people who did not agree to have their image put on the album cover. So there's a gap. Now, there's a photographer who photographed the cover, or put the cover together. So there's a photographer's copyright. So as you can see, we've got lyricists, we've got the music composer, we have artistic copyright, we have photographer's copyright, and there'll be performers' copyright as performers and singers. A whole lot of copyrights in one album cover.